Well, good afternoon. This is Lance Bryce with RWM Home Loans. I hope everyone is doing well. This is the market update for the week. We did not do a video last week, frankly, with the flooding that we have experienced here locally, the loss of life. Mind was not on anything mortgage related this last week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those that are affected by these horrific floods. Just hearing the numbers, it's astounding. As of yesterday, 122 bodies have been recovered. 170 souls are still missing. By the end of this, y'all, we may be looking at total human losses at or exceeding where we were with Helene, which was just horrific in its death toll when it got into the Carolinas. So just a really, really rough time for so many families here locally. So thoughts and prayers for all of them. And I ask for the prayers for all of those that are affected as we try to get through this together. In any event, I do want to give a market update for what has moved the market this last week. We actually did see interest rates hit 6-week lows this last week. We're going to talk about those numbers a little bit more here in a second. Of course, last Friday, we did get the Bureau of Labor Statistics report on jobs. We've talked many times about how these numbers are very questionable at best. It was a blockbuster report, y'all, much stronger than expected. 147,000 jobs in the headline number were created. 110,000 were predicted. So that was a strong miss to the upside. And unlike the majority of prior reports over the last several years, we actually had upward revisions to the prior 2 months reports of 11,000 jobs. So that did put a halt to the bond rally that we had been experiencing going back to the third week in May. We had seen rates trending consistently lower going into the first part of this month. But when we got to that BLS report right here at the first of the month, it put a halt to that rally, and we have seen interest rates trending higher since. So here's where they are, according to Mortgage News Daily today. Actually, this is through yesterday. I don't have updated pricing for them, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video out. They were at 6.79 yesterday based on the bond market sell-off today. I'm betting we're going to be around 6.82 or 6.83 just based on bond weakness so far today. So we're going to be higher. A week ago, we were at 6.75%, and that national average, again, this is according to Mortgage News Daily. This is not a rate quote for RWM. This is where the national averages are. We were at 6.89 30 days ago. But y'all, on 7/1, we actually hit 6.67. So we saw rates take a nice dip a week or so ago, a week and a half ago, to the lowest levels we had seen back to the third week in April. So they were trending in the right direction. The phone was starting to ring quite a bit. It does not take much rate improvement, y'all, for things to dramatically pick up on the mortgage side. It is astonishing how a quarter point move downward, as soon as that becomes apparent to the marketplace, the phone starts ringing. And then as soon as rates trend back higher again, it stops. So it's very uncanny how quickly the market reacts to even modest improvements in rate and even modest increases in rate, both for the good and for the bad. So hopefully we'll see some relief soon. That takes us to the next topic, the CME Fed Watch tool. What is the Fed looking at in the wake of this Bureau of Labor Statistics report, and including the minutes that came out after the last Fed meeting? Well, if you parse those minutes and you look at the strength of this jobs number, we're not going to see a cut at the end of this month, y'all. There was maybe a 15% chance this last week of a cut going into the July meeting. That was as high as a 35% chance 5 or 6 weeks ago going into the July meeting. It's now only a 7% chance based on Fed futures trading that that's going to happen. And we are now seeing the September 17th meeting as being the most likely time for a cut. We've known that was probably going to be the most likely time for a cut. In fact, we had seen estimates of that being as high as 85% likelihood of a cut. It's now a 67% chance of a cut going into that September 17th meeting. So the chances of a cut, y'all, have worsened a little bit and pushed farther back in the year. That is the bottom line from all of the news we are seeing. The announcement of new tariff policy today that takes effect August 1st on Canada and other countries is not helping. Not because tariffs are inflationary, but because the Fed is painting them as inflationary. We may do a whole separate video just on that topic, y'all, but just to be perfectly clear about where my stance is on it, the Fed knows full well that tariffs are not inflationary, although they may lead to higher prices. Not all higher prices are caused by inflation. right? So inflation is unique in that it is caused by an overabundance of money supply that devalues the purchasing power of those available dollars. The Fed is the primary offender in that, with taking quantitative easing as deeply as they did post COVID. Um, that literally does print money and put it into the economy at a massive degree. And when you add in what we saw under the Biden administration early in the pandemic, $5 trillion of additional governmental spending plus the quantitative easing of the Fed is the reason we got inflation. Tariffs take money out of the money supply. They are essentially a tax on imported goods. So that is money coming out of the free economy, not going into it. So the Fed knows this is not inflationary, and yet they are hanging this delay in Fed policy on that fact. So in any event, frustrated over it, going to continue to talk about it because that's what we do here. Um, and it's good information to share with your borrowers and clients about what moves the market. And that's ultimately the purpose of this call. We are always blessed and honored to have your referrals. We love counseling borrowers, love working with first-time home buyers and walking them through the things that move the market and how to best time the lock-in of their mortgage on that house that they're considering so that they can get off on the best possible foot with their purchase, with the start of their new purchase. So in any event, hope this is helpful for you and for your clients. You have all my contact info on the screen. Stay blessed, stay safe. Please continue to remember these families affected by this horrific flooding in our area. And with that, we will talk to you all next week.